the ability to have somebody who is kind of epitomizes what you think your country stands for.
Royal life has many rules, but behind closed doors, real emotions can still come out. A tense moment between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla inside the palace has just been caught on camera, and people can't stop talking about it. Their relationship has had its ups and downs, and even after all these years, some believe tensions still linger. Anne has always been known for her strong opinions, while Camilla has worked to secure her place. Could this latest moment prove that their past issues are far from over? Join us as we uncover the full story behind this heated moment. A complicated past. To understand where this tension is coming from, we need to go back to the early days, before Camilla was even married to King Charles. Back in the early 1970s, Princess Anne was in a relationship with a man named Andrew Parker Bowles. He was a dashing cavalry officer, well known in high society, and a close friend of the royal family. Anne and Andrew had a lot in common, especially their shared love of horses. But their relationship didn't lead to marriage, partly because Andrew was Catholic, and at that time, it was tricky for a royal to marry outside the Church of England. Until recently, it was against the law for a member of the royal family to marry a Roman Catholic, unless they wanted to lose their spot in line for the throne. At the same time, Andrew was also in an on-and-off relationship with Camilla Shand, the woman who would later become Queen Camilla. Camilla was deeply in love with Andrew, but he wasn't exactly the most faithful partner. There were rumors that he had multiple relationships going on at once, and Camilla wasn't happy about it. When Camilla found out that Andrew was dating Princess Anne, she was reportedly furious. Even though Anne and Camilla weren't close friends, this situation created a complicated history between them. Eventually, Andrew married Camilla in 1973, but their marriage was far from perfect. He continued to have affairs, and Camilla's connection with Charles remained strong over the years. Fast forward a few decades, Camilla married Charles in 2005, officially becoming part of the royal family. By this time, Anne had long moved on from Andrew Parker Bowles. She had married twice and was fully dedicated to her royal duties. But her feelings toward Camilla didn't seem to change. Unlike other members of the royal family who eventually welcomed Camilla, Anne was noticeably distant. People who observed their interactions noticed that Anne rarely engaged in warm conversations with Camilla. Some royal insiders even claimed that Anne gave her the cold shoulder, making it clear that she wasn't quick to embrace her as a sister-in-law. This wasn't just about Andrew Parker Bowles anymore. Anne had a reputation for being no-nonsense, deeply committed to royal traditions, and not easily impressed by newcomers. She believed in hard work and duty, above all else. Camilla, on the other hand, had a controversial past with Charles, and took years to win over the public. That alone was enough for Anne to keep her at arm's length. One of the most talked-about moments of tension between Anne and Camilla happened during King Charles's coronation preparations. Camilla, having earned Charles's deep trust and respect over the years, was set to be crowned alongside him. But this didn't sit well with Anne. According to reports, during a private dinner leading up to the coronation, Anne confronted Camilla about her title. She reportedly told her, "You're not queen, you're the queen's consort." This statement wasn't just about protocol. It was about Anne's belief that Camilla should not take on a title traditionally meant for a monarch born into the role or married to an undisputed heir. Camilla, of course, had spent years fighting for acceptance, and she wasn't going to let anyone, not even Anne, undermine her position. It was a tense moment that reportedly led to an uncomfortable atmosphere at the dinner table. Anne's firm stance on royal traditions was further evident during a public event at the University of London. Queen Camilla and Princess Anne attended the University of London's Foundation Day ceremony at Senate House, a yearly event that honors the university's history and recognizes people who have made a big impact in different fields. As Chancellor of the university since 1981, Anne was in charge of presenting honorary degrees, and this year, Camilla was one of the recipients. She was awarded a Doctorate of Literature for her work in promoting reading and literacy. Over the years, she has supported several literacy organizations and even started the Queen's Reading Room charity. Other people were also honored that day, including experts in law, medicine, and social sciences. It was a formal event, filled with tradition and an important moment for Camilla. She was being recognized for something she was truly passionate about. Anne took the stage, welcomed everyone, and handed out the awards, sticking to her usual role. But beyond the speeches and formalities, people were paying close attention to how Anne and Camilla interacted. Even though Camilla has now fully stepped into her role as queen, Anne has always been someone who follows tradition to the letter. That became clear when Camilla, trying to be polite, invited Anne to enter a room first, something that went against royal rules. Anne didn't hesitate. She refused, standing her ground and making it clear that rules were rules. It was a small moment, but it spoke volumes about how Anne sees royal hierarchy and tradition, adding another layer to their complicated relationship. Now, this brings us back to the viral footage making headlines. Though the palace has not commented on what exactly was said, body language experts and royal watchers have pointed out the clear tension between Anne and Camilla. Anne's stiff posture and Camilla's tight-lipped expressions. Everything suggests that their relationship, after all these years, still has unresolved friction. Some believe Anne still hasn't fully accepted Camilla as queen. Others think it's simply a clash of personalities. Anne, the fiercely independent and hard-working royal, and Camilla, who took a different, more winding path into the family. The question now is, will this recent footage bring even more attention to their complicated relationship? Will the palace try to downplay it? Or will more details emerge that reveal an even deeper rift? Their history runs deep, and no matter how much time passes, the past always seems to find a way of resurfacing. But is there more to this feud than we know? Stay tuned, because there are even bigger issues underlying this. Anne's opposition to Camilla as queen consort. The tension between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla is no secret, but this latest viral footage has only reignited public curiosity. What exactly happened in that palace moment? Their history is long and complicated, and this isn't just about personal dislike. It's about tradition, titles, and years of unresolved tension. And the truth is, this tension didn't fade after Camilla married Charles. In fact, it deepened in the years that followed, especially as Camilla's role within the monarchy became more prominent. One of the most significant battles between these two women was the debate over Camilla's title. Even before Charles ascended to the throne, there were murmurs within royal circles about what Camilla would be called when the time came. Originally, the plan was to refer to her as Princess Consort, a title that would acknowledge her unique place in royal history. But as the years passed and Camilla's public image improved, Charles and his supporters pushed for her to take the traditional title of Queen Consort. This decision didn't sit well with Anne. While she was never one for public drama, behind closed doors, she reportedly voiced her opposition. For Anne, titles weren't just words. They carried history, duty, and precedent. And in her eyes, Camilla's journey into the royal family was far from traditional. Anne had always been a firm believer in honoring the original intentions of the monarchy. She saw her mother, Queen Elizabeth II, as the ultimate example of a sovereign who upheld duty above all else. The idea of Camilla, who was once at the center of a controversial love triangle, being placed at the same level as past queens, didn't sit right with Anne. Some insiders claimed Anne saw the title change as an unnecessary rewriting of history. She believed the original agreement, Camilla as Princess Consort, should have been honored, and she wasn't alone. Many within royal circles, including those loyal to the memory of Princess Diana, felt uneasy about Camilla being crowned queen. But Charles was determined, and ultimately, the title of Queen Consort was granted. For the most part, Anne kept her disapproval out of the spotlight, but there have been many occasions where she has expressed her disapproval of Camilla. The wife of King Charles, who had spent decades working to secure her place in the royal family, wasn't exactly pleased on these occasions. These were reminders that, even as queen, she would never win everyone over. And if there was one person who would never pretend otherwise, it was Anne. Anne's position reflected a deeper divide in the family. To her, it wasn't just about what Camilla wanted or what Charles had approved. It was about what was right for the monarchy. Those who have followed their history know that some tensions don't just fade away. Anne is deeply rooted in tradition, in the old ways of the monarchy. Camilla represents change, a shift in how the monarchy adapts to the modern world. These differences alone make it unlikely that their relationship will ever be truly warm. And with the latest footage now making rounds, many are wondering, was this just another glimpse of their long-standing tension? Or could there be even bigger royal conflicts behind the scenes? Stay tuned because there's more. From tension to mutual respect. Over time, their relationship has softened. There's been a clear shift from the tension of the past. Anne, known for her no-nonsense approach, has come to acknowledge Camilla's dedication to her role. The public moments between them now seem more measured, with less visible strain. Though their differences remain, there's a quiet understanding that has settled between them, showing that time has, in some ways, changed things. But change does not just happen overnight, especially in a family as steeped in history and protocol as the British royal family. The shift in the relationship between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla has been gradual, built over years of shared responsibilities and changing circumstances. At first, they kept their distance and didn't trust each other. Some even strongly opposed their relationship. But now, things are much better between them. They're not close friends, but they can work together effectively. For decades, Anne carried the image of the monarchy's most devoted workhorse, someone who upheld duty above all else. She never cared for popularity or public approval, only for service. Camilla, on the other hand, spent years fighting for acceptance, enduring criticism and scrutiny, and carving out her own place within the royal fold. At first, these two women seemed to be on completely different paths, with little room for understanding. But time, as it often does, changed things. Anne is not one to give out compliments lightly. She has always been direct, preferring action over words. So when she publicly acknowledged Camilla's contributions in a 2023 BBC documentary, it was not just a passing remark, it was a significant moment. She spoke about how Camilla had come to understand her role within the monarchy, emphasizing that this understanding had benefited King Charles. For a woman who had once questioned Camilla's place in the royal family, this was a major shift. Anne's words carried weight, especially because they were coming from someone who had long held firm opinions on royal duty. She was essentially recognizing that Camilla had proven herself, not through words, but through years of consistent service. This was not an emotional declaration, nor was it an attempt to rewrite the past. It was, in true Anne fashion, a practical assessment. Camilla had taken on the responsibilities expected of her, and in doing so, she had gained a measure of Anne's respect. Time has a way of softening even the most rigid relationships, and Anne and Camilla's case is no exception. With Charles now king and the weight of responsibility shifting, both women have found themselves in positions where cooperation is important. They have attended countless engagements together, traveled to represent the monarchy, and supported King Charles in ways that only close family members can. Through these shared experiences, a level of familiarity and understanding has developed. It is likely that Anne has seen firsthand the pressure Camilla faces. She knows what it means to live in the public eye, to be judged for every action, and to carry the weight of expectation. While she may never have been overly sympathetic to Camilla in the past, it is possible that she now recognizes the challenges that come with her position. To be clear, Anne and Camilla are not best friends. They do not have the warm, sisterly bond that some might expect from women who have been in the same family for decades. But what they do have is a working relationship that has evolved from resistance to mutual respect. There are still moments where Anne's traditionalist mindset is apparent. She remains strong in her belief in hierarchy and protocol, while Camilla has a more relaxed, modern approach. These differences will always exist, but they no longer seem to be sources of open conflict. Instead, they have settled into an understanding. Camilla knows that Anne will never be someone who offers excessive praise or displays of warmth. Anne knows that Camilla is here to stay and has earned her place in the monarchy, and with that knowledge, they have found a way to work together without tension dominating their interactions. At public events, Anne and Camilla are often seen engaging in conversation, sometimes even sharing a moment of laughter. These interactions may seem small, but in the royal family, they are telling. One key moment was during King Charles's coronation period, where Anne was seen standing close to Camilla at various events, offering quiet support. This was a far cry from the earlier days when their distance was obvious. There have also been occasions where Anne has stepped in to assist Camilla during engagements, subtly guiding her through royal protocols or ensuring events run smoothly. These gestures, while subtle, are meaningful. They indicate that Anne is no longer just tolerating Camilla's presence, but actively contributing to her success within the royal family. It is impossible to ignore the role King Charles has played in all of this. He has always respected Anne, valuing her honesty and deep commitment to the monarchy. At the same time, his love for Camilla has never wavered. From the start, Charles likely understood why there was tension between them. Anne has strong opinions, and Camilla's presence in the family is complicated. But as king, his biggest concern has been keeping the family united. He knows that divisions within the royal household weaken the monarchy. If senior royals are at odds, it creates uncertainty, and that is the last thing Charles wants. Anne's respect for her brother likely influenced her decision to accept Camilla. Over the years, she has been one of his most trusted family members, and she understands how much he values loyalty. If Camilla is the person Charles trusts most, then Anne, as his closest sibling, would naturally find a way to work alongside her. The monarchy is bigger than personal feelings, and Anne knows this better than anyone. She has dedicated her entire life to royal duty, and part of that means putting the institution first. While she may not have been Camilla's biggest supporter in the beginning, she is not one to create unnecessary conflict. At the end of the day, Anne and Camilla are both in positions of great responsibility, and they have no choice but to work together. With Charles now king, they are both central figures in his reign. Whether their relationship is warm or simply professional, they seem to have reached an understanding. The early tension may never be forgotten, but what matters most now is ensuring the monarchy remains strong under Charles's leadership. Looking ahead, it appears Anne and Camilla's relationship will continue to evolve. With Queen Camilla now firmly established in her role, she and Anne will be seen together even more often, attending engagements, representing the crown, and supporting King Charles. While the past tensions may never be entirely forgotten, they no longer define their relationship. What has emerged is a partnership built on shared duty and mutual understanding. Anne will always be the no-nonsense traditionalist royal who believes in strict adherence to protocol. Camilla will continue to bring her own approach to the role of queen, blending tradition with a more modern touch. These differences will remain, but they are no longer barriers. If anything, their growth is proof of the idea that time, experience, and duty can reshape even the most strained relationships. The journey from cold shoulders and quiet confrontations to mutual respect has been long, but it has happened. And for those who have followed their story, it is a lesson that even in the most structured and rigid environments, change is possible. But is this the full story? Because as history has shown, royal relationships are never as simple as they seem. Well, only time will tell. What do you think about Princess Anne and Camilla's relationship? Do you believe they have truly moved past their past tensions? Or is there still some hidden friction behind palace doors? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.